Meghan Markle was left speechless overnight when whispers exploded across Hollywood that Ted Sarandos had quietly erased her newest Netflix project from the internal slate, and the silence that followed was louder than any statement ever could be. No warning, no glamorous farewell, no carefully staged goodbye photo. Just one brutal move behind closed doors that sent insiders scrambling and left Montecito buzzing before sunrise. Because when projects disappear in Hollywood, they usually don't vanish by accident. They are removed for a reason, and everyone in town immediately starts asking the same dangerous question: what went so wrong this time?
The funniest thing about Meghan Markle's deranged display in Montecito over the weekend with Ted Sarandos, the Netflix boss, is that she hasn't realized yet you're the one being played, Meghan.
Your business partnership is collapsing. Your cooking show was canceled. Your brand lost its backer. And your place to show up at the man's house, grab his wife's hand and pose for Getty images like everything is fine? That takes a very specific kind of audacity, and nobody does audacity like Meghan.
They made sure that Carrie Mulligan did not come in until Meghan Markle had left. And she didn't want to leave. She was making everybody's life a misery because she wanted to be present because she's the Duchess. But no, honey, you have lost big time. That's how much Meghan Markle's stock has fallen. She was kicked out, and Harry was embarrassed and apologizing to Ted Sarandos once again for his wife's lack of sensitivity or listening to people or following a simple dress code.
She is very, very worried, nervous. She's on the back foot. She knows Netflix is gone. She knows Netflix is moving on, and she's sort of freaking out about it. They know the gravy train is ending, and they're just doing anything as humanly possible to gain attention.
The timing could not have looked worse. Only days after Meghan was trying to project confidence, smiling in public, and acting as though everything was on track, industry chatter suddenly turned ice cold. Executives who had once spoken politely were now whispering about numbers, delays, endless revisions, and an exhausting pattern nobody wanted to admit openly. One insider claimed the project had been floating in limbo for months, constantly reworked, constantly repackaged, constantly sold as the next big thing, yet never truly landing. That is the kind of phrase that terrifies careers in streaming: never landing. And then came the overnight deletion rumor. Not postponed, not reimagined, not under review, deleted. The kind of word that stings because it sounds final. Sources claimed internal schedules were updated, project references disappeared, and staff who expected follow-up meetings suddenly found empty calendars. Hollywood knows that language. Empty calendars are often louder than official press releases.
Well, Brittany, none of this was a good look. None of this was a good look. She looks truly deranged. We know what she's trying to do here. The problem is, Brittany, it changes nothing. The fact that Ted Sarandos wants her to try and promote.
Now think about what makes this so explosive. Ted Sarandos is not some random executive. He is the man who built fortunes by betting on winners early and cutting losses fast. He doesn't need drama. He doesn't need chaos. He needs hits. So when his name gets attached to whispers like this, people don't laugh it off. They lean in, because if patience has finally run out, then something serious shifted behind the scenes. The most uncomfortable part? Meghan reportedly believed this latest concept would reset everything. Friends were said to be calling it personal, authentic, fresh, relatable. The magic formula they hoped would reconnect her with viewers who drifted away after earlier projects sparked curiosity but not lasting momentum. It was supposed to be the redemption chapter. Instead, if the rumors are true, it became the disappearing chapter.
I mean, she doesn't care about her reputation, does she? Or does she think that the Duchess of Sussex title can take on anything and nothing is going to happen to it? That title, it's already devalued, depreciated, and valued completely. How embarrassing. And no, Meghan Markle doesn't have a model body.
And insiders say the mood changed after private screenings of development materials failed to excite key people. One person described the reaction as polite smiles and zero urgency. That sentence alone can sink a production. In entertainment, people fake enthusiasm all the time. But when nobody rushes to move things forward, the project starts bleeding quietly in the dark. Then came another layer of gossip no one can stop talking about. Meghan allegedly expected triggered a personal conversation before any decision was made. A courtesy call, a chance to pitch, a moment to save it. Instead, according to the whispers, the update arrived indirectly through changed paperwork and confused intermediaries. Imagine building your comeback around one project only to discover its fate from movement on a spreadsheet. That kind of humiliation travels fast.
It is gross, and trust me, I know how fake Hollywood is. I know how fake the entertainment industry is. But Meghan Markle and the Sussex squad think this is a win for her. Think that this in some way disproves everything that has gone on with Netflix. It doesn't. All she looks is nuts. Totally crazy. Clinging on to Ted Sarandos' wife for dear life.
And suddenly, people started revisiting every earlier warning sign. The stalled launches, the endless speculation, the carefully worded announcements that sounded bigger than the actual results. Even critics who once got dismissed as haters began asking whether they had seen the pattern first. Big headline, massive buildup, soft landing, then silence, over and over. Meanwhile, Montecito circles say Meghan was furious not only about the deletion rumor, but about how quickly the story spread. Because in celebrity culture, failure hurts, but visible failure hurts more. If something collapses privately, you can rebuild. If it collapses publicly, everyone starts writing your ending for you. What makes this sting even harder is the contrast. While some stars walk into Netflix with one idea and leave with 3 green lights, Meghan allegedly faced the opposite reality. More meetings, more polishing, more promises, less momentum. Hollywood is brutal like that. Fame gets you in the room, but only results keep you there. And Ted Sarandos knows the math. Sentiment doesn't matter if subscribers don't watch. Headlines don't matter if viewers don't finish episodes. Buzz doesn't matter if projects cost more than they return. That is where fairy tales go to die, inside spreadsheets. Sources now claim some within the company had grown tired of brand-first concepts with unclear audience demand. One person supposedly said executives wanted content people run toward, not content they feel obligated to sample. That line is devastating if true, because it suggests curiosity was fading. Then there was the personal side. Meghan reportedly saw this project as proof she could thrive without royal drama, without palace association, without controversy carrying the story. Something built purely on her own name. If that dream just got deleted overnight, the emotional blow would be bigger than money. And yet, the coldest twist of all may be what happened next. Instead of rushing to deny the rumor, nobody meaningful moved fast. No loud defense, no immediate celebration post, no public reassurance. Just that strange vacuum where powerful people say nothing and let the silence do the talking. By morning, Hollywood blogs were on fire. Some claim Sarandos had finally chosen distance. Others argued this was simply routine restructuring. But gossip rarely waits for facts. Once the phrase deleted overnight enters the bloodstream, it becomes its own headline machine. And Meghan? Those around her reportedly insist she is calm, focused, already planning next steps. But critics are not buying the brave-faced narrative. They say the bigger issue is not one missing project. It is credibility. Because if every next chapter ends before it begins, eventually people stop turning the page. Now, the real question is not whether one project vanished. The real question is what happened in the private conversations just before it vanished. Who lost faith, who pushed back, and what Meghan allegedly said when she realized the door was closing. Because once the first shock wore off, the second wave hit even harder. People close to the situation began whispering that the deletion itself was only the surface story. The deeper drama was the reaction inside Meghan's camp when they realized this was not a negotiation tactic, not a temporary freeze, not one of those Hollywood pauses that magically turns into a relaunch months later. This felt different. This felt like patience had expired. And when patience expires in streaming, doors do not slam loudly. They glide shut in silence while everyone smiles in public. Sources claim Meghan had spent weeks believing this concept would be the one to reverse the narrative. She allegedly saw it as elegant, strategic, and emotionally smart, something that would soften critics, attract casual viewers, and remind Netflix why they signed the Sussex deal in the first place. There had been talk of branding opportunities, media crossover, and a rollout designed to dominate headlines for days. That is why the overnight removal hit like a personal insult rather than a business adjustment. If true, knew it was not just content being cut, it was a rescue plan being erased. And then came the whispers about Ted Sarandos himself. According to industry chatter, he had grown weary of endless expectation wrapped around uncertain performance. That is the nightmare formula for any executive. Big names create pressure. Pressure demands results. Results must justify budget, time, attention, and opportunity cost. If one project soaks up energy while stronger ideas wait in line, resentment builds quietly in boardrooms. No cameras capture that moment. No tabloids report the size in conference rooms, but careers can fill those size long before headlines appear. Insiders said there was also frustration over constant narrative management. Every small move became symbolic. Every meeting became a signal. Every dinner became a story. Every delay became a scandal. Executives often want talent who bring viewers, not storms. And when the conversation around a partnership becomes more dramatic than the actual output, the balance starts to look dangerous. Meghan's supporters reportedly pushed back hard. They insisted she still has global recognition, curiosity value, and the ability to command attention with one appearance. They argued the right format simply had not arrived yet. They said abandoning her now would be short-sighted. But critics inside the entertainment world are said to have responded with one brutal question. Attention for what? Headlines alone do not keep subscribers paying monthly bills. People must click play, keep watching, recommend it, and return for more. That is the standard everyone faces. Then came the most cutting rumor of all. Some claimed Meghan requested a direct meeting to pitch revised ideas after learning the project was in trouble. But by then, the mood had shifted beyond persuasion. If that whisper is even half true, it means the decision was emotionally made before it was formally processed. And once executives emotionally move on, no pitch deck in the world can save you. Observers also noticed something else. While the gossip storm exploded, there was no dramatic public unity campaign. No sudden smiling photo op with Netflix power players. No warm quote praising future collaborations. No obvious signal that everything remains strong. In celebrity politics, absence is information. When reassurance would be easy but never arrives, people start assuming there is nothing reassuring to say. Meanwhile, Montecito rumor circles say Meghan was furious at how the story framed her as helpless. She allegedly believes she still has options, still has contacts, still has leverage beyond one platform. And to be fair, fame at that level always creates possibilities. But there is a difference between having options and having premium options. Hollywood can smell desperation, and desperation lowers price faster than scandal ever could. Some say this could push her toward independent production, niche platforms, or lifestyle ventures where she controls the message completely. Others think she may double down on prestige interviews, memoir extensions, or limited specials designed around controversy rather than creativity. But even supporters admit one thing privately: the next move must work, not trend. Work, because repeated rebrands without a stable win start looking like motion without progress. And then there is Harry. Insiders claim he hates the endless cycle of hype, backlash, defense, reset, repeat. Some whisper he wanted quieter projects with clearer purpose, while Meghan preferred broader visibility and star positioning. Whether true or not, those rumors add fuel because audiences love the idea of strategy tension inside famous couples. If one wants peace and the other wants spotlight, every setback suddenly becomes personal. Ted Sarandos, however, is said to remain focused on the same thing he always focuses on: performance. That is why this story has such sting. It strips away glamour and reduces everything to value. Can this name still deliver? Can this project still win? Can this partnership still justify itself? If the answer behind closed doors turned uncertain, then the deletion rumor makes emotional sense even before it makes official sense. And now the industry waits for Meghan's counterattack. Because people like her rarely disappear quietly. They reposition, they relaunch, they emerge in curated settings with perfect styling and a new narrative ready to go. Expect words like empowered, intentional, authentic, next chapter. Expect strategic leaks about exciting opportunities. Expect smiling confidence. But behind every polished comeback will linger the same ugly question nobody can Photoshop away: if the project was so strong, why did it vanish overnight? That is the shadow hanging over everything now. now. Not one canceled idea. Not one awkward rumor. A larger perception crisis. Hollywood forgives flops. It does not easily forgive fatigue. Once decision makers feel tired of the story, rebuilding becomes far harder than launching. So was Meghan Markle truly left speechless? Maybe not in public. Public faces are trained. Public smiles are armor. But if even half these whispers are true, somewhere behind closed doors there was a long, cold moment when she realized the machine she once counted on had started moving without her. And in Hollywood, nothing is louder than hearing the future continue down the hallway while your name is no longer on the schedule.